Welcome to this Fundamentals Lesson Plan series on building documentation for schedules. In this video, we'll take a look at creating a room schedule based on the previous exercise. This is video 12 of 13. My name is John Harridge, and I'll be your host for today's lesson. Let's look at the learning objectives for video 12. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to create a room schedule from scratch, specify the fields to report in the schedule, apply sorting and grouping properties to organize the schedule for your purposes, apply field format properties, and then generate a total sum area value. With that, let's get started. Let's begin the exercise by opening up an existing project file. So go ahead and click Open, and then browse out to your tutorial folder. And let's open up the Building Docs Exercise 12 project file, please. In this exercise, we'll be creating a room schedule from scratch. If you would like more information about room schedules or schedules in general, you may want to watch video 10 for the lecture part at the beginning of the video to get a better understanding of how they're created and what their behaviors are. Just going over to Project Browser, just letting you know that we do not have any existing schedules in the current project file. That's the purpose of this exercise, is to create a room schedule from scratch. So to begin the process, we go to the View tab, over to the Create panel, and then we'll select the Schedules pull-down menu and select Schedules and Quantities. From here, we select the category of the item that we wish to schedule. So in this case, scroll down until we find Rooms as the category. Go ahead and select it. We'll use the default name of Room Schedule. Go ahead and click OK to continue. Here in the schedule properties, we need to specify which fields we want to show in the report and move them over to the right-hand window using the Add button in the middle between the two windows. So with that, let's go ahead and scroll down until we find Number. Go ahead and select Number and then click the Add button to move it over to the right-hand window. So that's going to correspond with the number that's displaying in the room tag. Next, we'll go ahead and select Name as the next field and click Add. And that's its call out in the room tag. And then the last field that we'll capture is Area. And that's also showing with that particular room tag type. Before we click OK to create the schedule, let's go through some other operations here. Let's go to the Sorting and Grouping tab. Let's organize the schedule. So for Sort By, let's sort it by room number. That makes sense to me. And it's going to go in ascending order. Next, go ahead and mark the grand totals box. And then in the pull-down menu immediately to the right, go ahead and select Title and Counts. Make sure the Itemize Every Instance is still marked. Let's move over to the Formatting tab next. So for the number, we want to change the column heading display. Let's just type in capital N-O as a number abbreviation. And then the last parameter that we want to modify is area. So if we want to create a total sum, we need to mark the Calculate Totals checkbox at the bottom of that dialog box. So go ahead and mark it. Last thing we'll do is we'll override the default field format for area. So we're going to override the project settings. So go ahead and unmark project settings. Specify the units to be square feet. Set the decimal places to 0 and the symbols to SF for square footage. Go ahead and click OK to accept. And click OK one more time to actually create the room schedule. So the room schedule becomes the current view on screen. Just confirm that column A reads NO for the column heading. And then in the lower right hand corner of that schedule, you'll see the total sum square footage for the current project. Room schedule now appears as a schedule view in the schedules folder. And of course, you could place that on a sheet view if you want to. Let's go ahead and give the file a name. Let's do a file save as and give it the name Building Docs Exercise 12 Finished. Go ahead and click Save after you give it a name. This concludes this exercise. Let's go ahead and take a look at next steps. Let's review the learning objectives for video 12. In this lesson, you were able to create a room schedule from scratch, specify the fields to report in the schedule, apply sorting and grouping properties to that schedule. We also applied a field format to one of the parameters so that we could then generate a total sum area square footage value. With that, let's take a look at Autodesk resources that are available to you. I would like to make you aware of two Autodesk resources. The first resource is the Autodesk Education Community, where you can access free software for both students and educators for titles like Autodesk Revit featured in this series. The website address is www.students.autodesk.com. Registration is required to access the free software using either your personal email address or your school-issued email address. The second resource is the Autodesk Digital STEAM Workshop. It's hands-on, project-based learning across multiple industries such as architecture, engineering, and entertainment. The website address is www.digitalsteam.autodesk.com. Registration is required to download the free learning resources using your Autodesk ID created from the Autodesk Education Community. You will find the Fundamentals of Architecture series under the Subject pull-down menu, Architecture link. Assets include step-by-step instructions, datasets, and videos. This concludes this lesson overview summary. Thank you for watching.